In the 3MF file, you will find Safira's parts arranged on 4 separate plates organized by color. On one plate, all the clothing pieces of the same color are located. On another plate, you will see some arm and leg parts with color changes. I haven't included a prime tower for my AMS system because I set the waist to flush into the supports and the infill of the parts. This worked well for me. If you don't have an automatic filament changing system, you can pause the print and change it manually. On another plate are the wing files. Here you will see that I combine them into 2 colors, also featuring a filament change. And on the last plate are the files with the skin tone. You will find them grouped to be printed together. However, you can separate them and print them individually to achieve higher print quality for the hands and face. Since these are the pieces we will look at most, we want them to look well printed. The quality I used for the print is a 0.16 mm layer height. However, for the face and hands, I increased the quality to 0.08 mm in some areas. I like tree-style supports. As you can see, they are very easy to remove. I decided to sand the lower part of Safira's face to make it look smoother. The filament I used for the skin is a matte filament. I find it suitable for adding color later, as it absorbs the acrylic paint I'm using much better. Although you have an extra all-in-one file for a head with eyes included, I prefer to print the head and eyes separately. This gives her a more realistic gaze. You will need a very fine brush to apply the paint. In my case, the paint I mainly use is Vallejo brand acrylics. A small amount is enough. I outline the eyebrows, eyes, and lips slightly. I'm going to apply some blush blended with makeup powder. It's easy to apply and gives it a special touch. To finish, I use UV resin, a little on the lips and a larger amount on the eyes, to achieve that definitive shine in her gaze. I assemble the eyes into the face piece using kneaded charcoal eraser. It is a very practical putty that allows you to fix the eyes while still being able to move them later or change them for another color. As you can see, the result of working a bit on the face is worth it. It brings more charm to Safira. But the interesting part begins now with the assembly of the parts. The first pieces to join are the hair, face, neck, and chest. You will need an elastic cord 3 mm thick, and the length for this section is 36 centimeters. Pay attention to the position of the neck when placing it. It fits very tightly. The most important thing when assembling the parts is to knot and tension the elastic cords very well. This tension is what allows the figure to hold its poses. Do not cut the excess cord. We will use it later for the ribs and abdomen pieces. For the next group of parts, we will use 50 centimeters of elastic cord. We are going to join the arms, and it is very important to select the correct pieces for the right and left arms. I'll show you a render of the parts so you can identify them correctly. Another important issue is where to knot the cord so that the knot isn't visible and doesn't interfere with the joints during movement. I decided to tie the knot inside the shoulder piece. There is enough space there, and it won't be in the way. That's why I routed the cord in this manner. I'm going to use some tweezers to help me hold the cord so it doesn't slip. If you don't have any, it's fine. You can still do it. I like to make 3 knots before cutting the cord. The next pieces we will join are the wings. We will use 2 small beads through which we will pass the cords, serving as the connection to the back. This time the cord is thinner, approximately 1 millimeter thick and 15 centimeters long. Pass the cord through the beads, through the wings, and toward the back. Pass it from one shoulder blade to the other. It has its own internal tunnel. It will be knotted inside the chest piece, in this case, without needing to tie it to the chest axis. The next pieces are very easy to place. I've called them the ribs and abdomen. Pass the cords you already have from the chest and knot them in the abdomen. You should still not cut the excess cords, as we will use them to join the lower part of the body. For the next section of the assembly, you will need all the remaining parts and 2 elastic cords of 36 centimeters each. You could also join everything with a single 72 centimeters cord, but it will be easier if you divide it and join one leg to the hip first and then the other. The 4 pieces that are hardest to tell apart are the hips, so I have engraved the letters R and L so you can distinguish left from right. You shouldn't have problems with the other pieces. Look closely at the knees. The long incision goes on the upper inner part. That's how you can tell them apart. I'll show you the pieces in detail. Remember to pull the cords very tight. And finally, we will join the lower and upper parts. If you notice there is too little tension in some area, here is a trick so you don't have to take it apart. Twist the joint. By twisting the internal cord, it will tighten and hold positions better. We're finished. And we have a great result. Enjoy your 3D print.